Hi, this is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking. It's so nice to be back with you again this evening. I've had a really long day and I wanted something sweet tonight, and I said, what could I fix? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to fix a slice of bread, apple tart, and I will show you how I do it. So I started off, I went in my refrigerator, I had just 3 apples there. And I'm going to take an apples, and I'm going to actually slice the apples. This is something very simple that you can make. I'm actually going to slice the apples into tiny pieces. And the reason why, because it'll cook quicker if I slice them into smaller pieces. And you notice I'm leaving the peel and everything on them. See how small those pieces are? Because they'll cook in a real hurry that way if I leave them small like that. And like I said, it's late. It's soon to be bedtime. And I wanted to treat before I went to bed. And I was too lazy to go get in the car and go out and get something. So I thought, well, you know what? I have some bread here. And I knew I had these apples here. And I thought, boy, that would be really good with a cup of coffee before I go to bed. So this is what I'm fixing for my little snack tonight. And I thought I'd share it with you because it's really a good taste and it's something you can fix pretty quick. Okay, I'm actually slicing the last apple. I decided just to go with 2 apples because this is just a treat tonight, and 2 apples will give me a lot of apples. So I'll get you come around over here for a second. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with apples next. Okay, I put about 1/4 a stick of butter in my pan and it's melting now, right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come take my apples I've got, and I'm going to put my apples here in my pan. Like I said, I just used 2 apples. I didn't use all 3 because, like I said, this could just be a snack. You can see the butter is really hot now. It's beginning to bubble around there. To that, I have 1/2 a cup of sugar. I'll put the 1/2 a cup of sugar in here. And I've got 1/4 a cup of brown sugar. We'll put that in there. And we'll stir that all around with them a little bit. I'm going to get them sort of coated with this sugar. Now that sugar will melt too shortly. To that, I've got some apple pie spices. If you don't have apple pie spices, you just use some cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, whatever you want to use. This was just very simple. I've got 1/2 teaspoon that I will put in there. And I've got some vanilla here. I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla in there too. I don't have to put the vanilla in, but I like the flavor of vanilla that gives it. So I add the vanilla for me. And like I said, this will be my snack for later on in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this set on the stove here and let this simmer for a little bit. I've got it on a low heat. We'll put it on a low heat. Let this simmer for a while. And I'm going to meet you back over at the counter and show you what I'm going to do while this is simmering. Okay, I've got 1 slice already cut. I'm going to take, I don't know how much, maybe 6 or 7 pieces of bread. But I'm going to take my knife and just along the edge of the crust, as I'm going to cut the crust off. Just as close to the edge as I can get it, we'll cut the crust off. Okay, I'm going to do this to about 5 or 6 pieces of bread. Go stir my apples and I'll be right back to you. Okay, now that I took 6 pieces of bread and cut the crust off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rolling pin and I'm just going to roll these out flat. There's one. We'll do them the other side one time. There's 2. There's 3. And the good thing, if I have any apples left over, which I doubt I will, but if I do, I can have those with some fried eggs in the morning on the side, which will be very, very nice. But this is so simple to do, and you know, if you wanted to buy, you know, store-bought filling, you know, apple pie filling, or cherry pie filling, or any type of filling that you want to buy already made, you could do that. Okay. Now we'll set that aside because I'm going to need to take 1 egg and put it in my bowl here. And I'm going to add, a teaspoon of water, okay? And I'm going to mix this up really good. Now I'm going to use this around my bread. This is going to sort of be my glue that holds my bread together with my apples inside. And also I will coat them at the end with this to give them a nice brown texture when they come out the oven. Okay, so that's nice and mixed up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually go over here. Let me get a hot mat out of here. I'm going to actually go over here and get my apples. Okay, my apples look perfect. So now what we're going to start doing is I'm going to start putting together our bread slice apple tarts. So I'm going to take a slice of bread here. I'm going to take my egg mixture and I'm going to go around the corners. And like I told you before, this will act like a glue for me for my pastries to hold together. Put a little bit of apple in here, which, by the way, they smell absolutely fantastic. And then I will take my knife and I'm going to make some little slots right along the side, on the other side here. And this will let my tart breathe. Okay, then I'm going to turn this over like this. I'm going to take a fork and just going to start going around the sides. Now, if it's not absolutely perfect, like a little piece, extra piece right there, I can just take my pizza cutter and just cut that right off. Now I have a pan that I put parchment paper on, and I'm gonna move our first tart right there. It's ready to go. And let's do another one. I'm gonna take my egg mixture, put a little slight base around the outsides of it. I'm going to make my little slits. Then I'm going to get some of my apple mixture. I'm going to put it right here in the middle. I'm going to bring this over. And I get my fork and just push into the sides of it here. All right, let me get these all done and I'll be back to you. Okay, I've got my last one ready. I move my apples out of the way, I move my board out of the way, move my pan up closer, and then I'm going to take my egg wash and I'm going to go over each one of these. The reason why I'm going to do this, it'll make them golden brown, and it'll also make them crispier on the outside, and it'll just be prettier. So I'm going to cover them with the egg wash. These are going to be so good. I got my coffee going, so it's ready. Okay, I've got one more to do. My oven's set at 350 degrees. These are going to go in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now you can put them in there longer if you want them crustier. It's up to you. And I've got a little bit of dark sugar that I'm going to take and I'm going to sprinkle on the top of each one of these just to give it a little extra flavor and make it pretty when it comes out of the oven. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to stick these in the oven, like I said, for 15 minutes or maybe longer. And as soon as these are done, I'll be back to you. Our apple tarts came out of the oven beautifully. It's hard to believe that that's a slice of bread with some fried apples in it. So they've been cooling a few minutes, so they're still hot. But I want to break one open so you can see the inside of it. Can you see that? It's just chock full of apples. And the outside is like a pie crust. It's oh my goodness. You would never guess that's just a piece of bread rolled out. You know, I was thinking having some of these for breakfast tomorrow morning. I hope they last that long. Wow, they're really good. That's just another simple recipe I wanted to bring to you that I like to try occasionally, and so I hope you'll try that. Thank you for following me on Facebook and subscribing to me on YouTube. I appreciate it so much. Know that I think about y'all, and it's fall of the year coming, and there's so many things I want to bring you, recipes for fall, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas. So I'm going to be working all the time just for you to bring you some very special things that you can make for the holidays. I send you all a great big hug and say thanks for everything. Until next time, this is Jim saying, God bless.